Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1267. Happy Thursday. It's already Thursday. Again, I woke up this morning. What the hell day is it? Is it Wednesday? Is it Friday? Oh, it's Thursday. It is Thursday. Weighed in this morning. Lowest number on the scale I've seen in probably 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. 197. So I yesterday I had my lunch was fresh cucumber from the garden, sliced up, put it into a bowl with a fresh garden tomato, sliced the tomato, sliced the cucumber, threw a little cream cheese in there, little sesame oil, just a splash of sesame oil. And what else? There was one other piece of the pie. What else did I put in there? Maybe that was it. Was that it? Rice, of course, to mix it all together. Rice and cream cheese is just a phenomenal mixture. So that was my lunch yesterday. And I turned into my wife last night. So that was actually really filling. So last night, my wife says it's early. She's like, I skipped lunch. She had like meetings all day. And she's like, I'm hungry. What do you want for dinner? We don't have anything. Like, I know I need to go to the store because I don't have anything either for like my fresh fruits and veggies. So she's like, what are you in the mood for? Of course. What are you in the mood for? I don't know. What do you want? My wife's the picky one. Typically, I am not the picky one. I was the picky one last night. And she goes, well, what are you in the mood for? We don't have anything. I'm like, I know. And she's like, are you hungry? Are you even hungry? Because I think I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on Tuesday night. I don't know what we had Wednesday night. Wait, last night was Wednesday night. Today's Thursday. Okay. Tuesday night, I had a peanut butter and jelly. Are you even hungry? I'm like, yes, I am hungry, but I'm not in the mood for sushi because I had basically like sushi minus the protein in my lunch. Cucumber, rice, cream cheese. Basically a Philadelphia roll. So I'm like, I'm not in the mood for sushi. And she's like, oh, I was kind of in the mood for sushi. I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, how about Taigu? And I'm like, nah, I don't feel like Taigu. Taigu's Chinese homemade noodles, amazing. I'm like, nah, I'm not really in the mood for that either. Well, what are you in the mood for? Because usually it's like I'm like the one that eventually makes a decision. And I'm like, I'm in the mood for like meat because I had a cucumber and rice and cream cheese. That was all I ate today. I didn't eat breakfast and I didn't snack. It was filling. I mean, it was more filling than I expected. So I'm like, I need some meat. I need some protein. And she's like, well, where do we go that has that? I'm like, well, no place. I mean, there's protein in some of the stuff, but it's like, it's either we literally have like 4 restaurants we go to or have carry out. Takara, which is sushi, which I was not in the mood for. Taigu, which is Chinese, which I was not in the mood for. Ancho and agave, which is Mexican, which I didn't even suggest because I wasn't in the mood for that either. I basically wasn't in the mood for anything we go to. Those are like our go-tos. And my wife doesn't eat burgers unless she makes the meatloaf burgers on the grill. So the one place we had our first date, we also limit ourselves. We also limit ourselves to like within like a 2-mile radius of our house. Like we don't go past a line. There's so many great options in Madison for food, and we limit ourselves to those 3 places, which are like 2 miles from our house. And she's like, well, I'll look at carry out places. I'm like, okay, you're not going to find it within our circle, within our safety zone. So she starts naming off, and she's like, I could just go for like pick up Panera. And I'm like, nope, I'm not in the mood for Panera either. So I suggested, and I was in the mood for bar food, which my wife does not eat bar food. So our first date was at a place called Free House, which is in our safety zone. It's actually just down the street from both Taigu and Takara are across the street from each other. And then Free House is like 3 buildings down. So I'm like, how about Free House? Let's go to Free House. And she's like, I don't like their food. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I said, yeah, you're right. Their food does it's kind of blah. Like, all right. And she's like, how about Culver? And Culver's is also, which is kind of outside of our safety zone, but it's fast and easy. And I'm like, by this time, I'm just like, okay, I can have a burger. Like, I think that's what I want. I just wanted a burger. I should have just said that from the get-go. I just want a burger. Culver's. And she's like, what do you want? I'm like, a burger. So she like orders it on her phone. And she's like, so that was easy. So I was easy with that. I've been very difficult this entire decision-making process of dinner last night. Until it gets to the drink, I didn't want a pop. I didn't want Culver's custard. I just wanted water. I'm like, I don't want a drink. Well, it comes with a drink. Oh, but I don't want one. That's the shitty thing about, because I wanted a basket. But if you order it a la carte, it's more expensive than a basket. You have to take the drink. They're forcing the drinks upon you. I don't want your damn drink. Take it. And you're going to like it. All right, fine. She's like, why don't you get like a shake and save it for later? I don't do well with saving shakes for later. If I have a shake, I'm consuming the shake. And she's like, why don't you? She's like, do you want like a banana shake? And I'm like, I love bananas. I love banana shakes. I'm like, yeah, that sounds fine. So she's like, I don't see a banana shake on their menu. I'm like, okay. And she's like, and I don't know. And we've had this conversation before several times. The difference between a shake and a malt. I should know this by now, but I just ignored that. And she goes, well, you can get a banana concrete mixer. I honestly don't know what the difference, because that's eventually I ordered the concrete mixer. Looks the same as a freaking shake. I don't know why. I thought, well, a concrete mixer is going to be like rock hard. I'm going to have to put it in the microwave. This, though, making the decision on which concrete mixer I wanted, took another turn. I'm like, all right, banana concrete mixer. But it's not that easy, because you have to choose 2. I guess you don't. You could do double up on bananas. She goes, well, what else do you want in it? And I'm like, I just want a banana shake. She's like, well, it's a concrete mixer. Okay, I just want the banana concrete mixer. It's like, well, you have to pick 2. But I don't want 2. I didn't even want this fucking drink. I don't want the drink. I don't want 2 flavors. Just give me banana. So you want double banana. And then now it's my fault, because I'm taking blame for this, because instead of just saying, yes, order the damn concrete mixer, I asked, what other choices do I have? And then there's like 50 choices. Of course, I don't remember many of them. So what goes well with peanut or banana? Peanut. I thought peanut butter. I'm like, banana and peanut butter. I mean, it fattening put me over the 200 mark. So I'm like, how about peanut butter? And she's like, just peanut butter? And I'm like, well, like a peanut butter flavor. She's like, well, they have peanut butter. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, peanut butter cup. And she's like, ew. And I'm like, what? That doesn't sound good? Peanut butter cup and banana? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what sounds good with banana? And my wife says, nothing. I don't like bananas. Fuck. Just give me double banana. And she goes, you've turned into me tonight. And I'm like, yes, I am fully aware that I have turned into you. And that is how difficult it was for me to get a simple meal from Culver's last night. So I ate the Culver. Despite eating Culver's last night, I had a few bites. By the way, the burger was great. Fries were good. I did sneak in a couple bites of the concrete mixer. And I think that's probably what caused poor sleep, because it's probably loaded with sugar. I had a couple bites of the concrete mixer, and it was good. It was good. I would get it again. I still have most of it in the freezer. But fucking Culver's making you order that drink with the basket. So that was my dinner last night. And despite having a couple bites of the concrete mixer, eating a burger and fries, I still weighed in at the lowest weight that I've had in 8 years, 8 years, 197. I'd like to get to 190. I still got quite the belly down here. In my Michelob Ultras that I consume occasionally, probably helping the cause. But I think probably exercise would help, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to exercise. So what's going on? It's Thursday, a little late this morning. I just kind of decided to sleep in. Ernie was good boy this morning. I had to wake him up. I was at fault this morning for being tardy. We went outside and Ernie pooped and he peed. He was much better yesterday than he was. Fuck, what day is it? Tuesday. He was much better Wednesday than he was Tuesday, but we also split time with him. It's like a custody battle. You get custody in the morning. My wife gets him in the afternoon. So my wife had him for a little. My wife had him in the morning, and then she had to go into the. Did she take him into? I think she might have had him most of the day, actually. And then she had a conference call in the afternoon, and the notorious MIL was in the house, so she kind of played with him for a little bit, even on their call, and he was really good. But then he comes with me, and he's a little psycho terror. But he was okay. He was okay. But I think I get Ernie most of today. My wife has some appointments today, so it's me and Big Ern today. Hey, check out my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more items at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. That's for buy it now items only. I did add a couple lots to the eBay store inventory last night. I added another starter lot of 1974 Topps baseball, 100 different cards. That is now live in my eBay store. Also added some player lots. Jose Canseco, some junk wax guys, Canseco, Bonds. Who else? George Brett, Mookie Betts, not junk wax, but a player lot that was added into my eBay store. 99centcards.com. Save 25% off at checkout when you buy 7 or more items at regular price. I've got auctions going as well. Baseball auctions this week. Where's the auction items at? We've got auctions this week. And how about this? So far, outpacing Duke Snyder and Warren Spahn, outpacing Bobby Witt Jr. and Shohei Ohtani. outpacing Bo Jackson and Derek Jeter and Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna, outpacing Julio Rodriguez and Ken Griffey Jr., outpacing Babe Ruth, Jordan Lawler, and Brooks Robinson is this guy. This guy. This guy. Look at that. Holy hell. $133.50 on the 1 million Cubs Bo Thompson card. Official Topps card. Topps only printed 100 copies of these. You will not find these out in the wild. My mom's keeping hers. I do want to say, if you're shilling this auction and you are the high bidder and you don't pay, I will out you. I will out your username. I'm not going to dox you, but I'm going to out your eBay user ID. And I'm going to block you from the store. So please do not shill this auction. So there you go. It's fun to watch. Hopefully they are legit bids. So those auctions end Tuesday night. We'll go live at 7 p.m. Central to watch the end of those items. Tuesday night, a new batch will begin. I almost tossed around the idea of throwing. I have so much inventory right now. I can't list fast enough because it's not just singles. Some of them that are singles will take some time, and I do plan on doing some listing today. Some refractors and serial number stuff that I found a 4-row box. I have so much inventory. I'm finding 4 and 5-row boxes of like really good stuff. So I'm swimming in it. That's a problem. So I need to get rid of stuff. So I was tossing around the idea last night of doing some just random, like I'm just going to do an auction. I found a whole bunch of Tom Brady cards that normally I would lot up, but in last week's football auctions, they were going for $4 a pop. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just throw these at auction instead of listing them as buy it now and do Wednesday night auction. I'm not going to go live on Wednesday. We're only going to do Tuesday night live. But maybe I will keep an eye out. Maybe I will sprinkle other auctions. You get 500 auctions a month. I've got so much stuff that a lot of it I don't care if it sells for under comps. So I'm only using 50 to 75 a week. So that's leaving me still with a couple hundred. Now I haven't used auctions up until the last couple of weeks. So I've wasted 500 auctions a month for years. But now it's like, well, I'm doing them now. Might as well use them up. So the other auctions may be popping up. I won't do auctions on Friday or Saturday nights, but any other night of the week, I may throw some auctions up. So be aware of that possibility. Of course, I'll keep you posted here on Hobby Evolution. That also, speaking of inventory and just being overwhelmed with inventory, that kind of leads us into today's topic, passing or buying on 2024 Topps Pro Debut. I haven't really talked about it, so you probably know where I stand on this product, despite it being one of my favorite products. So we'll talk about 2024 Topps Pro Debut today. Are you passing? Are you buying? And I'll give you my insight into the product. George is in the house. Hey, by the way, George has rekindled the Hobby Drive. It's a show of the YouTube videos. I think this is nostalgia based for me. Why? Well, and I miss the people behind the cameras also. But when I was starting up on YouTube and people told, like when I first started the 1 Million Cubs project back in late 2017 and going into early 2018, you got to do YouTube, you got to do videos. I'm like, no, I don't want to do videos. I don't know. But then when I finally started during COVID, some of my favorite YouTube videos were George. He did the Hobby Drive. Every weekend, George and Dan, Korean Cardboard, would just get on and live stream every weekend. Like I think to them it was Sunday morning. It was Saturday nights here in the States. And that was good Saturday night content. I really enjoyed when they just talk about random stuff. And sometimes people would jump on. I would jump on every once in a while. Others would jump on. And it was just fun. It was like a hobby hangout. And I enjoyed that video series as well. And I miss it. And I also miss Herman. I don't know, is Herman in the chat this morning? I don't know. But if you're watching, listening, shout out to her. I miss Herman would go live on Monday nights. And I miss that. There's a void in my Monday night heart for YouTube content without Herman. Hobby. And I say I miss it so much and I can't remember the name. Hobby Chat and Rips and Hobby Chat. Hobby Rips. I can't remember. Sorry, Herman. But I really miss Herman's Monday night. I missed the Hobby Drive. The Hobby Drive has come back. Maybe Dan and George can reunite and do another live stream on weekends. And maybe Herman will bring back the Monday Night Live. And then we're all happy once again. Or I'm happy consuming their content. So I'm glad to see George is back with the Hobby Drive. I was scrolling through YouTube yesterday afternoon. I'm like, oh, this must be an old video uploaded 8 hours ago or whatever it was. I'm like, oh, this is new. Johnny Boy Cards is here. What's going on? Good morning. Brian's in the house. Good morning. Happy Thursday. David, good morning. Slim, yeah, I'm feeling good. Sub 200 Club, thank you, Christian. Andy Mack, good morning. Lewis, what's up? Good morning. Porter's in the house. Good morning. Mr. Archer's here. Good morning. Scott Hermanson, he's in here from sunny and hot California. It's cold and sunny in Wisconsin. 58 degrees here. Value Box Digger is passing on 2024 Topps Pro debut. I have enough already paid for cards to list. There you go. We are one in the same. And I guess we can end the channel. We can end the video now because that's essentially, as I alluded to a moment ago, I just have so much right now. I have the time. A lot of times with new product, it's time. It's like, well, it releases the week of the Madison Card Show, or it releases when I'm going to be out of town. And so the timing just doesn't work on some products. This would be perfect because it might even be out already. I have seen some cards listed on eBay already. So it must have really, they kept pushing it back. I don't even know what the official street date was because it was changed like 3 times. But this week would have been perfect. So I don't know. Ripping around Ernie would not have been, he would have had to have been in his playpen or crate. He's not trustworthy around piles of cards, as we saw from Landon Doberman. But yeah, I have the time this week, but it's just, I have so much stuff. I'm uncovering 4-row boxes of stuff that's like, oh my God, this is money sitting in boxes. Porter's in the house. He says, I pre-ordered a hobby box of Pro Debut a few weeks ago. Very nice. I am feeling a little bit of FOMO because I am like reading up on blowout forums, and really that's about it. Nobody's tweeting about Topps Pro Debut, but I have been watching eBay. I just started last night looking at items, and there's not really much out there yet, but yesterday was when, so maybe it was yesterday, September. I thought it was pushed to September 6th, but maybe yesterday was, maybe the 6th is the official street date, but people are getting it early, like what happens with most products. I did have an inkling, though. I wanted to go see my buddy Brad at Bonsai, and I've got to print a new poster for him to thank you to Bonsai Collectibles up in DeForest. They put a poster with the Madison Card Show and in the dates for the shows. I've got to get an updated poster with the fourth quarter dates. I've got to figure out how to get them on the Beckett calendar also. But I wanted to go and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I really want to rip Topps Composite Football, especially with opening weekend. I think maybe Saturday I'll make a trip up to Bonsai. I'll get a poster printed, take it up, and buy a box. I'll probably only buy one box because I think it's like 250, 275 bucks for those. But they look they look fun. And it's one of those where if I were to, and I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but it's just something I'm throwing around. I'm excited for Bears football, and to rip something, especially opening weekend is fun. So to something to rip while I'm watching would be a lot of fun. So maybe I will do that. I'm talking myself into it, and I'll probably buy a hobby or jumbo box of Topps Pro Debut. I'm not going to go get a case. But maybe I'll get a box. And that'll, it's not, I'm spending a few $100, not $1,000, $1,200. And I'm quenching that thirst just a little bit, scratching the itch. But I really like Topps Composite. I'm getting FOMO on that too. So it would be, if I bought those, it wouldn't be like, I've got to make money on these. It's just for entertainment. Because this is still a hobby for me, despite it being how I make my money. Yes, I do take that into consideration. I don't go out and blow money on blasters and stuff that I know I'm not going to get a return on, and crappy products that have shitty returns. But I do know Topps Pro Debut has decent return. Even if you're only buying one box, you can get a decent return. If you list everything, you can't say, oh, I like the 3 biggest cards and try to, I didn't, or rely on the hits, because the hits may only be $3 to $5 autos. But the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to listing everything. You got to list those base cards and they will move. That I'm going to go into that also. Let's get through some of the chat, but I want to circle back to Topps Pro Debut and another reason why I am passing on Topps Pro Debut. Let's get to the Cubs. Vince, what's going on? Sports Card Ripping Teacher says Cubs win, no hitter. How about that? So here's what happened last night. It was a combined no hitter, but it was the first no hitter by the Cubs since 1972. Milt Pappas. I think the last no hitter, I know the last no hitter at Wrigley Field was in 2015, I think. Cole Hamels of the Philadelphia Phillies no-hit the Cubs. It was the first time the Cubs had been no-hit in 50 years. I think 1965, Sandy Koufax no-hit the Cubs. I was there in the bleachers. It was hotter than shit that day. It's also Jorge Soler bobblehead day. Combined no-hitter, still a no-hitter. Does it carry the oomph of a one-pitcher no-hitter? Certainly not. Still exciting. People are complaining, pulling Shota. I think he was at 90 or 95 pitches. In this day and age, now, here's the thing. Just talking with actual pitchers, both present and former pitchers that played the game, and getting an understanding of the mentality and the physicality and the injury risk in today's game. Pitchers are not soft in today's game. Pitchers aren't going complete games. They're getting pulled with no hitters after 90 pitches in today's game because there is a much, much larger injury risk than there was in 1974, 1972. Pitchers are throwing a lot harder. It's a completely different game. There's also more analytics. There wasn't, large bullpens. That has less to do with it than, pitchers are throwing harder and harder. It's taking a toll on arms. I guarantee you pitchers of the 70s, if they were doing the same workouts and throwing as hard as pitchers are today, they would have had more injuries back in the 60s and 70s that pitchers are seeing today. Pitchers are not soft. It's just a different game. And it's taking a toll on bodies. Haven't changed. But what we have put into our bodies, the routines are different. And when you make those changes to the same body, you get different results. And many of those results are good, and much of those results are bad with injury. So it's the end of the regular season. The Cubs are mathematically, yes, they are still, but they could still make the playoffs, but I think the odds are like 2%. It was like 1.6% going into last night's game. I don't know how. I stopped scoreboard watching after the 2 losses this week. Shota Imanaga is a very important piece to that rotation for the Chicago Cubs. I don't, and I spelled it out with in my chat. We were kind of in my Cubs chat. We were kind of split on what to do in the situation. Did we like the decision? Did we not like the decision? So I spelled it out like so. Here was my thoughts on Shota being pulled. The best thing that can happen in last night that Shota continues pitching, he throws a no-hitter. That's the best thing that can happen. They're not going to clinch a playoff. They're not going to win a playoff game. They're not going to win the World Series. They may increase their chances from 1.6 to 1.8% to make the playoffs. He throws a no-hitter in a somewhat likely meaningless ball game. All right. That's the best case scenario. Now, that's the best case scenario. Now, the worst case scenario? He continues pitching and he tears something, and he's got to have Tommy John, and he's out the rest of this year, which it doesn't really matter. It's meaningless anyway, but he has Tommy John, so he's out all of next season. That's the worst case. Now, what is likely to happen is somewhere in the middle. It's probably unlikely that Shota would have thrown a no-hitter. Had he kept pitching, like the absolute best case scenario, he throws a no-hitter, which is still highly unlikely. The worst case scenario, he tears something, has to have Tommy John, and he's out for the entirety of next season. Again, highly unlikely. But the likelihood something happened, maybe he does get injured, maybe he only misses a month of next season. Maybe he goes another inning and he could have thrown 3 more pitches and lost the no-hitter. And then it's like, oh, what do you do? I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to err on the side of the manager knows his players better than I do, or any of us other couch people watching the game from our basements, criticizing the manager, which I do often. I will admit, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to err. Yeah, a no-hitter would be fun, but I'm going to err. In today's game, it's a much different game. Pitchers get hurt. I mean, even if you go like to the late 90s, how many, and this is probably something you can Google, like how many Tommy John surgeries were in 1999, which was what, 25 years ago? How many MLB pitchers had Tommy John surgery in let's just say the 90s? Okay. This is from Samford University. Samford University Sports Analytics, Tommy John surgery explosion in Major League Baseball. The number of pitchers in MLB that are having to get Tommy John surgery is growing tremendously. From 1974 to 1994, of course, Tommy John was the first to have this done, so it was pretty experimental early on. In that 20-year time span, 74 to 94, 12 players had Tommy John surgery. Like 1 every 2 years. After that, the number of surgeries climbed drastically. In the next 5 years, 1995 to 1999, there were about 22 Tommy John surgeries performed on MLB players. Still not a lot, but 20 years, 12, 4 years, 22. Our average is going up significantly. In the next 12 years, from 2000 to 2011, there were 194 surgeries performed on Major League Baseball players alone. Another 275 performed on minor league players during that same time span. I don't think they have minor league numbers previously in the previous years. In 2012, there were 36 Tommy John surgeries on MLB players. Okay, this was written in 2018, and I think their study concluded in 2013 or 2014. So let's just see Tommy John surgeries, MLB players, 2023. Let's just see how many there were last year. There's a Google Doc. Wow. Google Doc, Tommy John surgery. Can I... dismiss. Okay. This is not oh. All right. So 1, 2. So already this year, 2024, there have been 64 Tommy John surgeries already performed. Already. As of August 28th, 64 Tommy John surgeries. And it looks like there were, let's try to isolate this. 169. 102. Looks like 102 Tommy Johns last year. 102. And there were, what was the numbers? In the 20-year time span from 74 to 94, there were 12. Brian, good morning. Peter's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Kyle, good morning. Your auto card is now bid up higher than a lot of Dale Earnhardt autos. You are a serious dude. Who would have thought? Hopefully it's not shill bid. George ate sushi for dinner tonight. Very nice. Vince says, have you tried meal prepping or at least planning on Sunday? No. Which is kind of funny because my wife is you know me. I am not a planner. My wife is. And like, I constantly get into trouble because I don't put the plans that I do make into our joint calendar. And she's like, when's your card show? I'm like, September 28th. Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. And she's like, it's not in the calendar. You got to put these in the calendar. I know. I don't use calendars. I don't plan. My wife, the ultimate planner, but no, we don't do meal prep. We would probably spend more time meal prepping than making the meals. No, we are not meal preppers. It's just not our thing. George says, ate Chinese noodles for breakfast. Mark's in the house. Good morning. Congrats on the Cubby no-no. Thank you. I didn't watch it, but I watched from afar. And by that, I mean social media. George says, and a ham and cheese sandwich for lunch. Covered several countries today with my meals. Very nice. I had, I kind of covered Japan with my lunch yesterday and a good old American fast food burger and fries at dinner. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Orlando is here. What's up? Troy is here. Good morning. Orlando loves the Culver strawberry shake and butter burger. Oh, that's a good combo. Oh, the strawberry shake sounds good. I think that's probably, besides banana, strawberries, probably my second favorite. Vanilla, chocolate, no. I am not a big chocolate fan. Sometimes I'll get like a chocolate like crepe, but it's like just a little piece of chocolate and I'm good. Like I am not, my wife loves like pancakes with chocolate chips. And it's like, oh, no, give me some bananas. I love banana. I'm like freaking Curious George. I love bananas. Troy says, I was curious how you go about picking the cards for your auctions. Again, I don't plan. So I usually grab a box. So Troy, here's an example. So this is a random box of like stars that I need to sort. Some I'll put into player lots. Some might even be going up like as buy it nows, some at auction. So like here's a Chipper Jones museum collection. It's numbered out of 99. This is another example of a box that had cards like, oh shit, I didn't know I had that. Here's a Freddie Freeman Immaculate collection numbered out of 99. A Jim Thome green out of 99. So I'll just go through a box like this and be like, oh, this would be a good auction card. And sometimes they're not good auction cards. So sometimes I'll go through. So basically that's what I do. I just go through random boxes and a bunch of Jackson holidays. This is, I think, the Ellie De La Cruz that are at auction this week were in that box. The Bobby Witt Juniors that are auctioned this week were in this box. The Julio Rodriguez blue auto or royal blue rookie was in that box. So I'll just grab a box and look through it. Sometimes I do plan and it'll be like, okay, next week I'm going to do this as a theme. I'm thinking potentially autographs for next week. Probably, and I don't have like too many really good autos. So might be a lot of 99-cent auctions. So may do football depending on what I find. I don't have much. I think if I need inventory, it's football. I did pick up in the last Goodwill pallet. It had a lot of like early 2000s football, so like early Brady stuff, but not like nothing high end, like $5 max on a lot of that stuff. Cooter says, good morning. No notice again today. That's bizarre. Some people are getting the notice, some people are not. I think that's early on when we started doing it. It was kind of the same way. Some people would get the notifications, others wouldn't. I don't know why that is. Brian says, La Gondola was the Kroger house meal. Is it Kroger or Kruger? Or Krieger? Or Kreger? I felt better about myself last night. I happened upon a Instagram video of pronunciations. And so it was like, how to pronounce the word though, thouh, and then like the teacher goes, and it's like a comedian. So it's oh though, and he underlines ough, pronounced oh, and then he writes tough, and so the student is like toe, no, and he underlines ough. Off. And so then he writes down another one, and what's another ough? And it's like, you know what? Our English language is fucking hard. Now I don't feel as bad mispronouncing names. I don't feel as bad failing 7th grade English. English is hard. By the way, how do you say is it? La Gondola or La Gondola. I say La Gondola. La Gondola. La Gondola. We had a Lago. Now I can't pronounce it. We had a La Gondola in Kiwani. I don't think it's still open, but it was when I was a kid growing up. I think everybody pronounced it La Gondola. La Gondola sounds fun. Sounds fancy. La Gondola. Philly Joe, good morning. Sports card ripping teacher says Banana Mac is outstanding. Next time, 3 big breaths and name your emotions. Listing and shipping and coffee. Oh my, what's up, Charlie? Hey, they've got a card show coming up this Sunday in Green Bay, the GOAT Card Show. at is it the Riverside Center in Green Bay. Charlie and Adam go live on Wednesday. I was able to watch. I was doing some sorting. I had some wrestling on last night at 7, watching some AEW. I was still working on some sorting at 8 o'clock. So usually I don't catch. Usually by 8 o'clock I'm on the couch getting ready for bed. But I was still up slaving away and tuned into probably the first hour of the Dollar Box live stream. Victor's in the house. Good morning. T206 kid says, my wife is extremely picky with food. Same here. Same in this house. She doesn't like sauce, so no pasta dishes. Hates steak. Her pizzas are basically cheese bread. Our wives are similar. My wife does like sauce. However, my wife will buy. So if we're having sometimes my wife loves pasta. She loves, that's the only thing she likes in chocolate, pasta and chocolate. What she does, she'll get the jar of, I don't know, ragu or whatever, spaghetti sauce. She will strain it. She will strain the jar of sauce because it's got little chunks of whatever. Bugs, I don't know. Rat turds, I don't know what's in the ragu spaghetti sauce, but she strains it. I think there's little pieces of onion or meat maybe. She'll strain it. And I always found it odd. And I finally said something, and apparently all of her best friends from college also give her shit about straining her spaghetti sauce. My wife does not really eat red meat. She'll eat if steak is marinated every once in a while. And pizza, yes, pizza is basically, it's just cheese. She will not eat anything on her pizza. It's just cheese, just a cheese pizza. Philly Joe says combined no hitter. Awesome. Unicorn Cupcake says Wade Meckler. He's like a legend on Reddit. And it's kind of Wade Meckler has turned into kind of like the 1990 Fleer Jose Uribe on eBay. Wade Meckler is that on Reddit, which I have Wade Meckler cards in my eBay store, but nobody's buying Wade Meckler cards. But I did sell one. I'm like, oh, I bet they're on Reddit. I sold a Topps Big League Wade Meckler card. And I'm like, oh, this is going to somebody that reads the baseball card thread on Reddit. And he learned about his legendary status on Reddit and actually went to Reddit and did an Ask Me Anything the other day. That's legend status. Wade Meckler. Cooter says a combined no-hitter is the equivalent of an e-bike winning the Tour de France. Shut up, Cooter. Congrats on the 1 million card auction. Thank you, Philly Joe. Unless I get an auto in person, though, not for me. Hint, hint. Well, you got to come to the Madison Card Show. Steve says, good morning. How about a Cubs no-hitter? Cubs win. Cubs win. George is here. Was indeed Sunday mornings for us and Saturday for you. I'm way behind in the chat, I just realized. Johnny M's in the house. He says, good morning. Probably buying anything. I think he means probably not buying anything until next year. Got to slim down the 150K card inventory by any means necessary, aiming for 50K. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I just got to get rid of some of this stuff. For space, I mean, I've got space issues, and I shouldn't. I should not have space issues in my space. George says we get to that crappy cold on the weekends. We might be able to stoke that Sunday morning fire. I like it. I know Dan will be up for it. DPM Sports Cards. Good morning. Vince says, I always assume you were watching the sports card ripping teacher during your lunch break. Orlando said, I watched. I did notice that. I'm sorry. The official date is Friday the 6th. Friday the 6th. Oh, for Topps Pro debut. Scott says, my buddy Brian are in because we are minor league geeks like that. See, and I love minor league cards as well. and that's why I'm getting FOMO. Like, I think I've just got to buy a box. And I actually did Heritage Minor League. Topps Heritage Minor League was my favorite up until a couple of years ago. And for whatever reason, I had never opened a box of Pro Debut. Never. I'd opened a couple packs. I remember the first time I opened packs or opened Pro Debut at all was, I think, in 2013 or 2014. I was in Peoria, Illinois, for, it must have been, it was either the basketball state final. No, it couldn't have been basketball because that's in February, March. It must have been softball. Softball state finals in East Peoria. We were in a rain delay. So I had like a few hours to kill. I went to a card shop in Peoria and I think I bought a hobby box of Topps Archives, and that was the last time I did that. And then I bought a few packs of Pro Debut. This is how long ago it was. Alex Reyes was the big chase, and I pulled like a gold auto. And I think that card sold for more than what I paid for all the boxes and packs, the box and packs. But that, and then I didn't open any packs or boxes of Pro Debut until 2021, like coming out of COVID. And I'm like, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. And then I like Heritage Minor League, and then Heritage Minors hasn't been a product. I think did they make it last year? I can't remember. But I did buy, I did similar to what I plan on doing maybe this weekend is what I did a few years ago. I had the Jones for opening Topps Heritage Minor League, but I didn't buy a case. But I went to the card shop and bought like just a single box, and it quenched my thirst. Brian says Topps Composite Wannabe Chronicles garbage. And see, here's the thing. I like Panini Chronicles. It is a fun rip. It is garbage for resale, although Topps Composite, not really. And I think the difference is the Topps name. And my favorite thing to say is when people say, I don't like it because there's no logos. Well, there were no logos on most of the 70s cards. And we got by. And some of those are the most iconic cards in baseball card, football card history. There's no logo on the 1976 Topps Walter Payton rookie. There's no logo on the 1981 Topps Joe Montana. So I get it. If you don't like logos, hopefully you're just across the board. Like, yeah, I don't like the 81 Topps Montana. I don't like the 76 Topps Montana. But if you do, and you use no logos as an excuse, what's your excuse? But Topps Composite seems to be a decent resale. And I haven't looked, but just kind of here and there as I've seen some of the sales, I'm like, oh, decent resale. It'd be fun. But the price tag is it's up there. It's like $250 a box, I think, maybe $275. Seems like everybody's pulling CJ Stroud autos. That'd be nice. I'll pull a freaking offensive lineman auto that sells for $3. John Maybe's in the house. I wish they would bring back Topps Heritage Minor League. I'm with you, but now it's almost like, I don't know. I kind of stopped liking but I also stopped liking Heritage. And I thought when it was in the 60s, when Heritage was in the, which I think was peak Heritage, I think the 68 design was the absolute peak of Topps Heritage. I think it grew, and then all of a sudden it got to 68 and then 69. But I thought at that point in time, I'm like, oh, just wait until the 70s because those are my favorite designs of all time. And I don't like it. And maybe it's because they use those designs in every other set, archives and other stuff, Topps base, series 1 and 2. But I just stopped liking Heritage. And with that, Heritage Minor League, because it uses the same design. Cooter says, I will be opening the same quantity of product I have for the last 30 years of releases. Zilch, zero, nada. Adult arts and crafts sports cards. What's going on? Topps Composite Hobby was $430. I thought it was like $250. Okay, if it's $430, I'm not going to buy it. Let's go to what's Blowout at. Blowout cards. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. What do they got? What do they got? Wow, pro debut hobby boxes have gone up, or have they always been 110 this year? I mean, I know they were cheaper in the past. 110 seems 140 for a jumbo box. Let's see. Where's trending football? You would think it would be trending. Maybe it's not trending. Why is it not? Does Blowout even sell Topps Composite? I know my local card shop, Bonsai, has it. Topps Composite. Holy shit. Blaster box. They have blaster boxes? Blaster boxes are 50. Mega boxes are 100. I guess I'll get a mega box. Is that it? Yeah. That's all that Blowout has. Oh, then they have Delight boxes are $575. So if they're only $100, I'll get a couple of them. You get 60 cards per box. So this is a mega box breakdown here. We'll just share the screen. Oh, percent. So here's a mega box. And I think this is I know this is what my LCS has based on what they posted on Facebook. So $100 at Blowout. Might be a little more at my LCS, $10 more, maybe. 60 cards, you get 6 packs per box, 10 cards per pack. Look for Topps Chrome, Chrome Black, Resurgence, Finest, Cosmic Chrome, Midnight, Allen and Ginter, Archives, Heritage, and more. So in a box break, you'll get 5 Chrome inserts, 2 Mega Box exclusive inserts, and 3 parallel. So no autographs guaranteed in the Mega Box. What's a blaster breakdown? $50 for a blaster box. And there's 40 cards. So I think the price breakdown is the same. You get 4 Chrome inserts and 2 retail exclusive. Oh, so they are retail. They are at retail. So what's that breakdown? 50 divided by 40. So it's $1.25 a card on the blasters. And I think that's about what it is on the megas, isn't it? So $1.25 and 100 divided by 60. Oh, so the mega box is more. It's $1.67. So on a price per card basis, a blaster is your best bang for your buck, but you're gonna likely get some better stuff in those boxes. Now, again, you're probably not going to get, I don't know what the odds are, but probably not good at $100. I'm guessing the odds are probably 3 autographs in a Delight box, but you're paying $575 for a Delight box for 10 cards. Whew. So this is basically like the HTA. So in a Breakers Delight box, I guess is what you can call that. There's 3 autographs. There's 1 base refractor, 1 exclusive base geometric parallel, and 5 additional parallels. So it's all hits, but you're also paying a lot of money. You're paying $575 for 10 cards. So you're paying $57.50 per card. So you better pull a CJ Stroud auto. I'd be curious what some of the prices are on Topps Composite singles. I'll take a look at that today. But yeah, I'll probably, now I'm jonesing, but I'm not jonesing to like click and order on Blowout. I want to go see my buddies at Bonsai. Shout out to Bonsai and DeForest, and pick up a couple mega boxes of composite if they're still in stock, and pro debut if they have any. That dude from Duryea says Cole Hamels' last game as a Philly. He got traded after that game. Yes. And then the next season? He signed with the Cubs. Zambrano did have a home no-hitter, but I think Zambrano had it in Milwaukee. Yes, it was in Milwaukee because of it was not a home game, though. It was an away game. It was supposed to be in Houston, but it was in Milwaukee because of hurricane one of the hurricanes, whatever hurricane in 2000, that would have been what, 2000, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. Plus, Steele is injured, so up that much and needing wins, can't risk it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brian says, I'm not falling for this. Cubs, I love you, but stop giving me hope, right? Johnny M says, a lot of ball players today have been playing since they were 10. Little League, travel ball, school. They have so many more miles on the body by the time they make it to MLB. Absolutely. Absolutely. They didn't have showcases and travel ball in 1970. Yes, you were absolutely right on the mark there. Carrie says Zambrano's no-no was an Astros home game in Milwaukee. Yes, there you go. Because of one of the hurricanes down there. Sports card ripping teacher says that's right. They had storms in Texas, not Chicago. No hurricanes in Chicago that year. Cooter says modern pitchers are disposable. 70s pitchers could throw just as hard. They choose not to because they had to throw more than 2 innings. That's just wrong, Cooter. That's just wrong. George says, in terms of talking surgeries, people used to just retire and go sell insurance or run the family meat market. Yeah, times were a little different back then. They were digging graves in the offseason. But hey, Richie Hebner never had to have Tommy John for digging graves, did he? Johnny M says, I know high school pitchers. Yes. Yes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. George says, 23 and blow your arm in 1965. Cool. I'll just go work at Uncle Lou's Deli. Brian says, thank goodness it was Tommy John who got it first and not Yoshida Pants or Stupidiot. Or worse, Rusty Kuntz. Some kids think they should have TJ surgery to throw harder. And I think that's also in the mindset of kids. They see a major leaguer come back and he was throwing 94, and after Tommy John, he's throwing 100. It's like, don't do that. Unicorn Cupcake says, when the Tommy John surgery fails, they just have gender reassignment surgery. There, yeah, okay. Vince says, we meal plan. My wife does and writes it down. We still ask daily wants for dinner, but we know it drives her crazy. Red Light 34, good morning. Kroger, Brian Kroger. Curious George, now I'm seeing you as the man with the yellow hat. Thank you. Is there a game tonight? Does the NFL open tonight? Thursday night football? Probably if there is a game tonight, it's probably the only Thursday night football game I'll watch all season. Unless the Bears play. Where's my app? Somebody's probably already typed it in. Good morning. Dan's in the house. Week 2. Oh, that's college football. How do I get to scores? Baltimore Ravens. Oh, the Chiefs are on. That's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, maybe even a Taylor Swift appearance tonight. Chiefs and Ravens in Kansas City. Charlie says, yes, sir. The historic Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. Check it out this Sunday. Cooter says, no, you should still feel ashamed about how you pronounce Klucheski. Ted Klucheski. Brian says, I too like Chronicles, but there's no Mahomes and no Kelce, so I'm out. I don't even know. Is there a checklist on this page? Holy shit. Oh my God. The checklist is gigantic. Wow. It's like a Panini checklist. Let's see. John Myers, thank God it's free for all Friday Eve. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Philly Joe says, correct, same design. Yuck. I cannot stand Topps 1987 at this point. 10 years ago, we couldn't get enough of 1987 Topps design. Now it's like, gee, will you stop printing the 87 Topps design? Good Lord. It's like every 5 years, Topps wants to make, it's been 34 years. It's the 34th anniversary of Topps 1987. George says 110 for pro debut was buying hobby for like $60 a couple years ago. Yeah, even last year. What was my price? Am I logged into Blowout? Because I think I bought from Blowout last year. Close. Where's my order screen? I don't want to go too far back in my order screen or I'll cry seeing what I paid for boxes that are worth 20x than what they were when I bought them. Let's see, last year. Let's see, that would have been November. Well, I wonder if the August of last year, would that have been? Yes. So a jumbo case last year, I paid $760. And I think a jumbo case this year is like what, $1,200? $95 for a jumbo box, and it's $140 this year. So yeah, even in the last year, it's gone up significantly. I think they jacked the price of it starting last year, so that's basically part of the reason why I haven't bought unopened wax in a couple years. Carrie says Topps has a Pro Debut product drop lottery ending tomorrow. If you get it at the price, the price is $79.95, which tells you what it should have been priced at to start with. Right. Dan says Hurricane Ike hit Houston. NFL tonight. The Topps basketball and football products look terrible to me. Basketball I can do without, but I'm just not a basketball. Even like I don't get excited for basketball products, but football I do. And I think some of the football cards. Let's see. I think it was a Stroud that I saw posted. Looked really good for unlicensed, quote unquote. So, okay, I got to bring this up. Like, look at this. Like, this doesn't look like an unlicensed, this doesn't look like, oh, shit. There we go. This doesn't look like an unlicensed product. Like, look at that. Like, it's the right colors. Like, it just doesn't have a Bears logo. And I don't care. Look at that. That's a cool card. Let's see what else. Here's a Dan Marino auto. Like that's a cool. Like you can't even tell just the way like Topps does a much better job, at least in the few cards I've seen. Topps has done a much better job with the angles on the foot, like just the photo angles to where like there could be a dolphin logo on that helmet. There probably is. You just can't see it based on the angle. Like that doesn't look like an unlicensed card. It's got all the right colors. Like that's a cool fucking card. What else? Like the Browns, you don't even need a logo because they don't have logos on their helmets. Like here's a Josh Cribbs auto. Like I think they're pretty cool. Let's see. Here we got to look at Bo Jackson. Here's a Bo Jackson card. This is Radiant. Let's look at some sold sales. Topps Composite sold. Let's just see. Is it worth? Share this tab. So we'll just scroll through. Here's some sold listings. So a retro X Fractor of Emmitt Smith sold for a little over $8 shipped. Here's a Brady green refractor sold for over $50, and those were auctions. I think those would have sold for higher at Buy It Now. Here's a Barry Sanders lot. You've got Gallery, Chrome Black, and I don't know what that top one is. Maybe Fire or no, I don't know. So a lot of 3 sold for about $6, so about $2 a card, which you know is you're paying $1.25 to $1.65 per card. There's a Bryce Young purple checkerboard out of 150 sold for $36. A lot of these are auction sales. Joey Porter auto blue out of 150 sold for almost $30. There's like a base card of Bryce Young sold for, that's what scares me. Like $1.98 for a Bryce Young base card when you're paying. CJ Stroud sold for about $20 on the Cosmic Rookie. That's a SSP for Brady. Sold for $20. Here's a Chris Spielman auto. Wow, that sold for $36 at auction. That's surprising. Anthony Richardson gold out of 50 sold for $80. Oh, look at that Jim McMahon green. Oh, that's cool. Sold for $5. So I think they're pretty cool. I think they're pretty cool. Double A cards in the house. Good morning. So pro debut, and here we go talking about Topps composite football. Topps pro debut also out this week. Is it a buy or pass? It's a pass for me in terms of ripping and flipping a case. But I've talked myself into it over the last hour. Buy a box this weekend. And I'll save the composite for the Bears game to rip during the Bears game. But I don't know. Maybe I'll rip the pro debut go live or something on Saturday. But it's a pass. I still think it's the price has increased. You know, I paid what was the price that I paid last year? $95 per jumbo. It's $140 this year. You know, it's the margins are thinner. You know, I think you can still make your money back ripping and flipping it, but you're not going to make as much as you did in 2023, as much as you did in 2022, and so on. So I think there's still good potential there, but I just have so much. I have so much inventory that I don't want to take on anymore and just continue to, I mean, going through this box, it's like, oh shit, I should be listing a lot of this stuff. And it's going to be the off season for a lot of this is baseball. It's going to be baseball off season. It's like, oh shit, I should have listed that. Offbeat All-Stars says, just got back from dropping off my daughter at school. Hobby evolution still going strong. Love to see it. We're just wrapping up. So so I'm passing on Topps pro debut, but I still think it's a good buy, even with the increased prices. $100, $110 for a hobby box, $140 for a jumbo box. I still think it's a decent rip and flip as long as you have the traffic to your store, have the customer base, and list everything. Those are all important factors to ripping and flipping and having success doing it. So you won't find any new pro debut, but you'll find older pro debut. I've got some cheap autos. I probably have to go in and update some prices on some of that pro debut stuff that I've got in my store. So check out my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more items at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. And don't forget, I've got auctions running this week for baseball. Check out the auctions. Auctions are not included on the 25% off discount code. That's for buy it now only and at regular price. 7 or more, 25% off, 99centcards.com. Go check it out. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel and have a wonderful Thursday. We'll do this again tomorrow for the Free for All Friday, and we play Name That Player. See you in the morning.